Hey everyone.
Oh, hey fam, it's SK and Ren, your real estate friends, coming to you live to talk about
NAR, the
some
National
drama.
Association of Realtors.
It kind of seems like drama.
Settlement. I'm sure you guys have seen it in the news.
And we've kind of held back on talking about it initially. When you're moving that, you're moving that.
Oh, good. Good to know.
Just a heads up.
The lighting is perfect in
I
here.
know, we just look cute. We have held off on talking about the settlement because number one, I feel like everyone's initial reaction is just like panic.
Misinformation.
But like no one truly knows what's going on. So we kind of wanted to like wait and gather some information and kind of let things play out a little bit before we got on and commented.
So for those of you that don't know, NAR, National Association of Realtors, is a trade association that kind of looks
like
over the entire real estate agent community across the nation.
It's like being in a, what's it called? Like when plumbers and electricians.
Yeah. It's like a trade association.
No, but what's that called?
A union.
A union.
But it's not really a union.
It's not.
But it is kind of acts that way for our industry. And right now they are in a lawsuit with a few different groups in regards to commissions.
And basically what we think is happening is, what we think the overall...
They've proposed a settlement.
Okay. And so maybe
so
we
they
need to
are
tell
going
people
to,
how
they're
we get
trying
paid.
to settle the lawsuit, and they proposed a settlement. So currently now, how our business works is when we
list a house for
as
sale,
listing agents, we sign a listing agreement with a seller, and we charge a commission in which typically we would split maybe 50-50 with us as a listing agent and 50% going to the buyer's agent, and we market that in our multiple listing service, so it is public.
We say, hey, come show this listing and we're gonna pay you. We're gonna pay you to show it and help us sell it by bringing a qualified buyer and preparing an offer for that qualified buyer and negotiating on that on the buyer's behalf.
So the settlement is proposing that we no longer are able to market a buyer agent commission in the MLS, okay? That's one of the proposed changes. The other proposed change is that agents, when they're working with buyers, need to disclose in writing before they start showing them houses our buyer agent fee.
So ultimately, and it's kind of no surprise, right? Like everyone's
Whereas before, if we were working with a buyer, the commission is already noted.
Yeah. When buyers come to us and say, "Hey, we want to buy a house with you."
Awesome, let's go shopping.
Awesome, let's go. And then they say, "Well, how do we pay you?" Well, you don't pay me. But do you pay me?
Yeah.
That's just the thing where I think sets panic from people who have been in the industry for a long time, who understand how this works. Are buyers paying you? If the commission is built into the price that the seller is asking, and the buyer is paying that price, do you pay our commission? We think yes.
Yeah.
We think yes. We think that you do.
I think the buyer is always paying the commission.
The buyer pays both commissions if you look
time.
at it that way, right? Like so. It's just again you can look at it back and forth.
Disclose what our fee is to a buyer before we go out and show them houses.
And what I was going to say, it's no surprise that we get paid, right?
Yeah, it's no surprise.
I think what's happened now is that buyers know, right?
Well, yeah, they have to be disclosed to them before we go out and show houses. Now,
how is it going to change?
Just because the seller can't market in the multiple listing service that they're willing to pay a buyer's agent doesn't mean that they won't.
Right. And that's the thing why we didn't respond to this so quickly, because nothing is like set in stone. And
yeah, there's going to
be some...
We're going to sit down with a buyer. They're going to have to sign an agreement that says, hey, we get paid this fee for our work. Now, I think that there's going to be a multiplicity of ways that we can get paid. One of them could be the buyer paying for our fees out of pocket. I think that will probably be the least likely way that we'll get paid going forward, but that could be a possibility of one way that we could get paid.
But it's really not about.
I think that most ways that people will continue to get paid is the same way that we get paid as buyers agents when we bring a buyer to a for sale by owner house.
So in our past
and we do this all
decade
the time.
worth of transaction, we've done more deals than I can count where there's a for sale by owner, and we bring a qualified buyer to that for sale by owner. Why are we doing that? Number one, because we found it. They didn't see it. They didn't drive by it. They didn't know that it was listed.
Yeah, so the for sale by owner is selling their house by owner, meaning they have no real estate agent representing them, which is fine.
So we come and knock on their door and say, hey, we have a client.
Buyer that we'd
Would
like
you
to bring
consider
to the
working
house
with us as their buyer's agent?
And we say, here's our fee.
Here's our fee. And then everyone agrees upon it. Both the buyer and the seller agree upon it. So basically...
So when we submit our offer, since there is no listing agreement, they're not represented by a listing agent, and they're not paying a fee to us in the multiple listing service, okay? So we just have a simple document that we submit with the offer that says the seller agrees to pay our broker a flat fee or a percentage of the sale price.
Okay, but for buyers, what is this going to mean for buyers? It really isn't going to mean much.
Isn't going to mean anything. Nothing's really going to change.
What's going to change for you as a buyer is you're going to know, hey, this is how much we're getting paid. And we're going to do this job for getting paid. We're going to legally represent you, and then we're going to get paid.
Yeah.
So for buyers,
really
for anyone who's
change.
thinking about buying a house this year, is this going to affect you? It possibly could, and it possibly won't change. So things will continue. Things have gone on for centuries, as long as people have sold real estate. People who represent buyers and people who represent sellers get paid. It's a legal representation.
This has been going on for centuries. The sky isn't going to fall this year.
Well, and I'm just saying, like, it's not about us getting paid. It's about how is this going to change for people that are entering the market. It's really not going to change. But I will tell you something. The real estate agents that get this figured out right away so they can better serve you and feel confident about serving you, because real estate is a service-based job, those are going to be the people that can help their clients faster. And the people that are able to negotiate with sellers on how
how we can help everyone accomplish their goals.
The people that figure that out faster will be the people that are able to help more clients.
Yes. It definitely will create some opportunity for agents, and it'll maybe create some challenges for other agents.
Yeah, so we're basically saying that the way that we're looking at it is that it's really
it's
not
all
going to
about
be a challenge.
perspective.
It's really not going to be a challenge. Nothing's really changing. Guess what, guys?
Nothing's
we get
really
paid.
changing other than we have to disclose that we get paid to a buyer before we go show them houses.
And we'd love to know what your comments are and discuss this even more, because there are kind of a lot of different ways that you can look at really anything. And we always kind of take the perspective of just sitting back, letting the water settle, and seeing if the glass is half full or half empty. And to us, there's been no change. So there will be a change coming soon, but we know how to adapt
and
to
all of this still has to get passed by judges. These
Yeah,
are all
none
just
of
proposed.
none of this is.
But if
in
this was to
black
get
and white.
passed, then these changes would start in July of this year, which, like we said, it's not going to be that big of a change. We're just going to have a document that says this is what we get paid, and we have to have the buyer sign it before we start showing them houses.
Cool. And then maybe, later on this week we can do a video on everything that we do for a buyer, because it's important to know why they're paying you.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, great.
I agree.
All right, great. Well, thanks for tuning in, and if you have any comments
Stay
on
cool.
the NRA,
Let us
NAR.
NAR. Let's hear your thoughts on the NRA. And this is so weird.
No, NAR.
I know. The National Rifle Association, the NRA. But it's kind of funny that the NAR is like our little trade trade group. You know, there's usually multiple different trade groups for every industry, but we just got lucky enough as real estate agents to only have one trade group.
I know what
And
this means.
I
This
think
means nothing for people.
I think that people are going to be a little bit upset with NAR, and
They're gonna fight back.
and they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave the community, probably. And then I'm thinking that there's gonna be another association created.
Well, I think that a lot of people are going to leave the community because people aren't
Well, they're
able
gonna-
to
they're gonna
confidently say, "Why are you paying me?"
Yeah, and then they're gonna be paying out $420 million or whatever, and they're gonna try to pass on those fees to their members, and the members are gonna be like, "Why are we paying for this? We're gonna
What?
leave," and then there's gonna be a new
you kidding me?
association. That's just my guess. This is just my opinion.
There's only one. Maybe we should start it.
I know. I would love to.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and let us know in the comments what you think.
Yeah,
What you
seriously.
think is really
Thank
happening.
you so much.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.